Let's explore the fundamental building blocks of PHP, its data types. Understanding these types is crucial for writing effective and bug-free code. In this video, we will cover the main data types that PHP offers. These include string, integer, float, Boolean, array, object, null, and resource. The string data type represents a sequence of characters. Think of it as text. Strings are enclosed in either single quotes or double quotes. In PHP, there is a subtle difference between single and double quotes. Double quotes allow for variable interpolation, meaning you can embed variables directly within the string, and PHP will replace the variable with its value. Here's an example. We assign the value John Doe to the variable name and New York to the variable city. Then we create a message using double quotes that includes the name variable. When PHP executes this code, it will replace $name with John Doe, resulting in the output, "Hello John Doe." Integers represent whole numbers without any decimal points. They can be positive, negative, or zero. PHP also supports different number systems, such as decimal, hexadecimal, and octal. Here's an example. The variable age is assigned the integer value of 25. The variable negative is assigned a value of -10. The variable hex is assigned a hexadecimal number, and the variable octal is assigned an octal number. We can perform arithmetic operations with integers, such as addition and subtraction. In this case, we are adding age to negative, and the result will be printed on the screen. Floats, also known as floating point numbers or doubles, represent numbers with decimal points. They're used when you need to work with values that aren't whole numbers, like prices or measurements. PHP also supports scientific notation for representing very large or very small float values. Here's an example. The variable price is assigned a value of 19.99. The variable pi is assigned the value of 3.14159. The variable scientific is assigned a value using scientific notation. You can perform mathematical operations on floats, just like integers. In this example, we are multiplying the price by 1.08, which might represent calculating the price with sales tax. The Boolean data type represents a truth value, which can be either true or false. Booleans are commonly used in conditional statements to control the flow of your program. For example, to decide whether or not a certain block of code should be executed. In PHP, the keywords true and false are case-insensitive, meaning you can write them in uppercase, lowercase, or a combination of both. For example, the variable isActive is set to true, is complete to false, and has access to true, but in all caps. The if statement checks if isActive is true. If it is, the message user is active will be displayed. Arrays in PHP are collections of multiple values, stored under a single variable name. Arrays can be indexed, where each element is accessed by a numerical index, or associative, where each element is associated with a named key. Arrays are incredibly versatile because they can store values of different data types within the same array. For example, the variable fruits is assigned an array of strings, namely apple, banana, and orange. The variable person is assigned an associative array, with keys like name and age. You can access individual elements of an array using their index or key. Here we are accessing the first element of the fruits array using the index 0. In PHP, an object is an instance of a class. Classes are blueprints for creating objects, defining their properties and methods. Objects are a fundamental concept in object-oriented programming, allowing you to model real-world entities and their behavior in your code. Here's an example. We define a class named person with a public property named name. Then we create an object user from the person class. We set the name property of the user object to Alice. Finally, we output the name property of the user object, which will display Alice. Null represents the absence of a value. A variable is considered to be null if it has no value assigned to it. The keyword null is case-insensitive. It is useful for resetting variables or indicating that a variable currently holds no meaningful data. Here's an example. We assign null to the variable data and null to the variable empty. We then use the unset function to remove the variable data altogether. The is_null function checks if the variable empty is null, and if so, it will print the message variable is null. The resource data type is a special type in PHP that represents a reference to an external resource. These resources can include things like file handles, database connections, or network sockets. Resources are typically created and used by PHP functions that interact with external systems. PHP automatically manages these resources, freeing them when they are no longer needed. Here's an example. We use the fopen function to open a file named data.txt in read mode, which returns a file handle, a resource. We then use the fred function to read 100 bytes from the file. After we are done, we use the close function to close the file handle, freeing the resource. The get_resource_type function returns the type of resource. PHP provides several functions to check the data type of a variable. These functions are extremely useful for validating data and ensuring that your code behaves as expected. Some of the commonly used functions are is_string, is_int, is_float, is_bool, is_array, is_object, is_null, and is_resource. Here's an example. The variable value is assigned the string hello world. The is_string function checks if the variable value is a string. If it is, it prints it's a string. The getType function returns the data type of a variable as a string. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.